our new moon in Aquarius reading. Tomorrow we have the new moon on January 24th, and we have all been going through interesting type feelings lately, and I feel like we really do need to talk about this energy that's going on right now. So new moons, if you guys don't know, for the new people on my channel, new moons are endings of a cycle. They are the best time to make changes in our lives. And this new moon is in Aquarius. Now, Aquarius has this stigma of being very detached, okay? Loners. They don't, really fit in the crowd. They like to go their own way. And I think that's a great thing about Aquarius. But I think a huge thing that's being brought up for us is how we may be avoiding some type of experiences or some feelings, okay? We may be avoiding. And these very feelings that we're avoiding, okay, are feelings that we need to let go of so that we can begin a new cycle in our life, okay? Now, the new moon in Aquarius will be square Uranus. Now, Uranus is a planet of shocks and surprises, but it's also an independent kind of planet. It's a planet of independence. And it's a way that we get our independence, I feel, through shocks and surprises, through this, uncertainty of life. And a lot of us right now are feeling uncertain. A lot of us right now are feeling confused, okay? So let's dive into the cards and see what it is that the energy is. So the very first card that I did pull was the Two of Wands reversed. And with the Two of Wands reversed, this is like that fear of a new terrain, fear of the unknown, fear of, we're excited, but we're also scared of this level up, okay? And the thing that this level up can do, it can make us question ourselves, question our worth, question if we're qualified, if we're meant, if we're on the right path. It can make us question a lot of things. So right now, we're kind of unsure. And we've done all this work and we've brought ourselves to this, next step. But taking the next step isn't always peaches and cream. Sometimes it's scary. Sometimes there's fear. And fear is the way our brain tries to keep us safe. Okay, because it can't tell what's coming next, so we get afraid and we try to keep ourselves in this little box. Now, one thing that will affect this that we need to pay attention to, I hope that you guys see, there we go. One thing that we need to pay attention to is the King of Cups. Now, with the King of Cups, this does represent Pisces, Scorpio, and Cancer energy. And when I see the King of Cups, I definitely immediately think this man is someone who's definitely in touch with his emotions. So we do need to be in touch with our emotions. We cannot avoid them. Our emotions sometimes advise us on the best things. Our emotions tell us sometimes what, our mind won't. It'll tell us sometimes, what it is that we're really feeling and what it is that's coming up. We may try to avoid it. And the King of Cups, maybe we need to reach out to those people that give good advice, to the listeners in our lives. This is why when I put up early on my post, going to a therapy session would be great, having someone qualified to talk to. But this also this also means that you should reach out to those friends of yours that are good talkers. Those friends of yours that, want to listen and listen with an open mind and are kind and compassionate and won't rush your healing process. Now, the Empress is also here. And when I see the Empress here, I see that a lot of us are not feeling comfortable in our own skin. A lot of us are not feeling beautiful, or a lot of us are not feeling, very grounded. A lot of us aren't feeling like we are, this wonderful creation of the universe. And I love that the Empress comes up because, we really need to get back. We're trying to avoid something, and it's causing us to not want to be here, not wanting to be present, not wanting to be in our bodies, and we cannot ignore that. This is a part of the fear. This is a part of what's blocking our success or hindering us from going forward with gusto, because we're kind of afraid to be, we're kind of wondering if we're qualified, if we're kind of afraid of being who we want to be. Okay? And I love it because we have the planet of love and beauty. Venus is here. So it's questioning our self-love also. Self-love blocks out fear. And self-love is also being honest with yourself. So I feel like we need to get back with that self-love, and maybe talking to a friend, talking to someone in your family even, could really help you remember that self-love could really make you rethink things. Or also, you know, talking to like a therapist, you know. Now all of these things are bringing us to the Hermit. It's asking us to go inward, to block out the social media, you know, block out, you know, going out or any other way that you may try to escape from reality, and really going within and understanding that there's a light within you that will lead you out. But sometimes we have to go through the dark times, and this was a dark time for me personally. This was a dark time. I was very emotional and like wanting to avoid everything, and I was tired and didn't feel like getting up. A couple other Tauruses were telling me they felt the same thing. And this is the time where we need to observe our feelings and see where they lead us. And this is, the Hermit is blocking everything out and seeing where that light leads him, right? Or her. And we need to do that right now so that we can come out the other side. So one thing I do want to note out, a lot of us may be avoiding, and this is what's leaving right now, is the avoidance of endings. The avoidance. We're tired of avoiding it. We're tired of it. We don't want to block out our transformation. We're ready to walk away from a situation that maybe it's hard to part with, but we need to. This is major Scorpio energy, and you guys know Scorpio is ruled by Pluto. Transformation, death and rebirth. And the thing about Pluto, which I love about this planet, is that it tests you, you know. And Pluto is a planet that it helps you see what your purpose is. What are you here for? Why are you here? Okay, and this is why sometimes death needs to happen, to fulfill a purpose, to help you fulfill a purpose, to put you in the direction of it. Okay, so, and it helps you understand why you're alive. What are you living for? And if you have fear in your life, then you're questioning what you're living for. And there comes Pluto. Let's figure out what it is that you're living for. Let's figure out what it is that you're here and why it is, what motivates you. Okay, so with that leaving, okay, comes the Three of Swords. And the Three of Swords reversed is that vibe where it's you have been avoiding these emotions because you didn't want to pay attention to them, but they're about to come full throttle. And this is the thing about Uranus, shocks and surprises. So you may be surprised about what comes up for you tomorrow, what you're feeling tomorrow. Okay, but pain, you know, we can't avoid it forever. No matter how you try to avoid it, you know, it really comes back. And some of us may be feeling disappointed with our lives, and this is why, and we've worked so hard, but we're still disappointed. And this is why we have to feel the emotions. What is it trying to tell us? What is it? And maybe this is what we're afraid from. We're afraid of this coming in. We're afraid to become disappointed with the way our lives turn out. And you have to have faith. You have to, you know, believe in your purpose. Believe in, you know, your path. And this, I love this. I actually really love this message right now. With this being Pluto, you have to know for sure why you're here, what you're doing, where it's leading you, why some things have to end. When you know your purpose, you know why things have to end. When you know, this is why I've been sent. This is what I've been sent for. This is what is required of me. This is why Spirit created me to do this. When you know that and you know your values and your beliefs, it's easier to let things go. It's easier to let that pain come out or these emotions and heal the wounds and the trauma when you know your purpose. So I feel like a lot of us have to come back to why we believe we're created. What did Spirit put you on this planet for? How do you help this world become a better place? What are you here for? And if you don't know what you're here for, then it's time you figure out. Because if you don't know what you're here for, if you don't know what your purpose is, if you don't know, that there is something bigger. A lot of us are in our heads, and there's a bigger world out there. There's a bigger picture. And some of us right now, we need, to be reminded of the bigger picture. There's more out there. What have you been put here for? And if you're disappointed, what are you doing to fix it? you know. Oh, there's a lot coming through with this, you know, these cards. And with death, with that transformation being right next to the Hermit card. Okay, ooh, child, the Creator. The Creator, what are you creating? What are you creating? What have you been put here to do? What are you creating? What is it? I'm going to pull one more. What are you creating? What are you... Here we go. And the animal. Finding that inner animal. That inner wildness. I do want to read what this particular card is because I do love it. The Creator, the first archetype in the trio of existence, is not intimidated by darkness or by lack. The Hermit, not intimidated by the darkness. Okay? They know that from the void, creation inevitably emerges. With the meager, minimal, and outlandish material, the Creator reveals a new image. They make the empty room resonate with healing sound. They generate bounty from the seed that others tossed away. I want you guys to understand, out of darkness, creation was born. So out of the darkness is where we find our most amazing, you know, most amazing ideas and most amazing, that fire, that light, you find it and you give birth to something new once you go through it, but you have to go through the darkness. Now with the animal, this is getting back to our animalistic ways, okay, to trusting our instincts. You know, I've been reading the women who run with wolves. Yeah, and women, we have this similarity with wolves, you know, the way that we tend after our young, the way we protect, the way we defend, you know, and a lot of us need to get back to our animalistic natures. And trusting who we are, and trusting our bodies, and trusting our minds, and trusting where it's all leading us. We have to get more in touch with that, okay? So I really feel this new moon is going to bring up a lot of what is keeping us and what's holding us back, and we need to be open to hear it. So definitely meditate, definitely journal, definitely pray, and you know, I wish for all of us that we can continue to break down these boundaries and these walls so that we might learn to understand ourselves better and, you know, really create the lives. What are you creating? What life are you trying to create? And what are you willing to risk? What are you willing to lose in order to fulfill that? Okay, we all have a bit of the universe inside of us, so we're all capable. We are the essence of potentiality. We can have any life we want, but in order to have the life, we have to be willing to let go. And some of the things we have to let go of, we might not really want to, but we have to see the bigger picture. We have to see. And we have to be willing to maybe even go alone, or to not be understood, or to not be a part of the crowd. We have to think outside the box. We have to question the intellect of others. We have to question authority. We have to go against the grain to find ourselves. And a lot of times that requires seclusion. A lot of times that requires others misunderstanding or not seeing the vision. Okay? But never forget, okay, you are meant to do what you have been put here to do what you're meant to do. And no one can take that from you, and no one, you know, can make you feel worthless. Definitely figure out, what do you believe, what do you value, and what is your purpose, okay? I hope that you have a good new moon. Definitely do a cleansing bath, set some new